madhab, or is everybody practices the new one with just a few exceptions to those few
And
questions?
Allah knows best. There's not a place specifically where the old school is still followed. And actually the Prophet Shafi'i rahimahullah, he absolved himself from those positions. He retracted those judgments and didn't allow for people to follow him in that. Some mujtahids in his school, they, in their own opinion, gave deference to the early school, but then that becomes the judgment of that mujtahid and not following Imam al-Shafi'i in that ruling. So an example there, and it's a very beneficial position, and the scholar who they don't quote his name, but they quote that he made he's from the Ashab, he viewed Jumu'ah as being valid with 4 people, which is a position of the early school. So like MSAs and stuff, when you pray Jumu'ah with them, you can follow that position. But that's doing taqleed, not of a Shafi'i in his early school, but doing taqleed of someone else who reached the level of their own ijtihad. And actually, the Maliki school in many rulings, the early school of Shafi'i conforms to it. So many Malikis will be essentially following the early school of Shafi'i. But Shafi'is, unless there's someone who's making their own ijtihad, they're not entitled to follow that, because they're no longer making sound taqleed, because he said that he retracted those. So if they're someone who's making taqleed, they're following the judgments of a mujtahid, obeying Allah's command, فَسَلُوا أَهْلَ ذِكْرٍ كُنْتُمْ لَا تَعْلَمُونَ. Ask the people of remembrance if you know not. So someone following that and following a mujtahid in the Shafi'i's early school, they can't do that, because he retracted that, so they're no longer following Ahl Dhikr, they're just following things that were written in the pages. But if they're following the mujtahid who did it, Allahu Akbar. To make our parents, teachers, sheikhs, those whom we owe rights in the presence of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Fatiha. So don't anybody go home and tell their little sisters they're not obliged to pray.